Hello out there in cryptocurrency land. Welcome back to Real Crypto. Thanks for joining me today. Well, while Bitcoin is away, the alts may play, and it looks like we're in for a little bit of an alt season here, ladies and gentlemen. It started a couple of weeks ago with a little bit of flurries here and there, and then most recently with the big surge in Bitcoin, we're seeing money being put to work in lots of areas. IOTA 25%, Cardano 20%. We see VeChain 15%, which is VeChain's been doing pretty good generally. We have OmiseGo up 50%, which really hasn't done a whole lot lately. Really, as you can see, just accelerating here to the upside recently. Steam up 50%. We've got 74% for Bitcoin Private, wherever you get that. You got WAN Chain up 31%. So altcoins really putting in a nice rally here while Bitcoin is popping up and doing its thing. Whatever this is up 200%. That's Mithril, MITH, whatever that is. And some of the smaller altcoins not doing a whole lot. I actually like the fact that they're not really pumping like mad. Looks like some of the better named coins are moving. Again, money's going into some quality. That's always good whenever we see these pops, these pauses in the Bitcoin decline. We like to see these altcoins move. IOTA 25%. I mean, just strength after strength after strength. And you can see in all these charts just the upward trajectory here in most of them. Some of them gaining a lot of steam recently. Verge, we already know Verge has had a massive run, so it's just kind of chugging along as of normal. Their icon up 16%. So, we have a lot of these coins on these charts over here looking very, very healthy. Let's get right to Bitcoin, the reason why it's all starting. All right, so we've got Bitcoin here, had the big upthrust earlier this morning, and since then we've been flagging out. And now we had, zoom in here, we've been flagging out. We had one area of consolidation which popped up into a second area of consolidation, and these levels are getting, are kind of stair-stepping higher, right? So we have one level here, one level here, and you can anticipate sometime in the future we'll have another level. If we dive down to the 15-minute time frame, which we can because this just happened today, so you can see that very well-defined price channel there, and you can see that this level here is putting in this most recent floor. Sorry, trying to get that level there for everyone. So right here, we see this level respected immediately on the pullback, and then again a little later in the day, and then now we're floating higher on lower volume. Very good action in Bitcoin. Nothing here indicating that the bull run is over. So what do I think from a longer term perspective? So let's go to the 1 day chart. I won't even mess with the 2 hour right now. Let's just go straight to the 1 day. All right, so let me get this looking good. There we go. Okay, so here's the most recent high in Bitcoin, the 11,775 high, and then here's the most recent low. One thing to notice is the width of this consolidation right here. I believe it's around just under 2 weeks, or it is 2 weeks, about 14 days from here to here, 14 days between the bottom thrust and the up thrust, with very weak volume down here, implying that sellers went away and buyers as well. Buyers and sellers really coming to an equilibrium standpoint. And then what happened this morning is that some short sellers got squeezed, and I believe that brought buyers into the market that were waiting on the sidelines. They were a little timid to get in here because they've been getting their butt kicked over here for the past month or so, and so they really didn't do anything. But when those shorts got squeezed and those positions had to be covered for whatever reason, then you can see the buyers stepping in and really bringing Bitcoin higher. So where does that leave us? Well, that leaves us in a downward channel. It leaves us in a downward channel here. And this channel was respected. We did touch the top of it, and we're since consolidating in a very narrow range, which is bullish. The volume that closed yesterday is very good. This is the kind of volume we want to see to confirm upside or to confirm downside. Now, I will say this is a good move to the upside. It does not confirm that we are out of the bear market. It does not confirm that this is the bottom. This is not a capitulation move. So it is just a rally. However, there's still work that needs to be done. So let's kind of zoom out here, and I do have some levels we're going to get to in a minute that we could rise into. But as you can see here, we have this potential for an area of support here. We have a potential for an area of support, and then a rally potentially, albeit we probably will put in a higher low. Now I mentioned a few videos ago, at least I think I did. I've been thinking this, I don't know if it ever made it to air, that we're going to cross this trend line here. All right, that we're going to cross this video. I'm sorry, we're going to cross this trend line. I did a video a couple episodes ago referring to the great fake out of 2018, and this could be the first bar to that. Now, the summation of that video is that Bitcoin is due a bounce that's going to be fairly aggressive, and then it's going to roll over, and then ultimately cause the low in Bitcoin. All right, so that is what looks like it's occurring here, but this is very good volume. And if you do want to be involved with Bitcoin, I don't want to scare you to not get involved, because there is some money to be made here. There's a couple upside targets I have drawn here. All right, the first one is this most recent high down here at the 9,100 level, somewhere around there. This is an area where you can expect a bit of resistance. Now, that's the top. All these closes in this area are about 8,950. Okay, so between 9,100 and 8,950, there's an area of resistance there. And up from there, you have about 9,900 into 10,000. That is another area of resistance that we could get through if the market is pretty bullish. Now, before we get there, we are going to come up to the 50-period moving average, or the 50-day moving average, at about 8,600. So there is a few areas of resistance to be gone through here. And the fact that we did drop so aggressively and with really not a lot of bouncing does lead to these types of situations where you have basically pent-up demand being being bought into. And apparently what it looked like is everyone was shorting Bitcoin. There were so many shorts in Bitcoin, there's no one left to sell shorts to. Is kind of what it looked like to me. There's so many shorts, there's no one left, and so the shorts cover, which causes this kind of a rally, brings bulls in, and it does give us some momentum. This should continue for a little while, which is really good for the alt season that we just talked about, right? We're above 300 billion market cap, and crypto's 312 billion, so this probably is going to continue for a little bit. But getting back to Bitcoin here, so I gave you a couple levels we could possibly run into: the 9,100, 9,900 to 10,000 region. In terms of a time frame, how we could get there, I think we rally for maybe a week or two. We could rally for about 2 weeks, and then we'll see what happens then. But right now, the Bitcoin momentum is to the upside, and you do have to respect that. I wouldn't be shorting any of this at all. It's very strong. This is very good price action. Very good price action. And some of our leading altcoins we've been talking about in the Real Crypto Power Hour and elsewhere have been moving really well. We saw Ontology not really sell off with Bitcoin. It actually sold off when Bitcoin rallied. And then subsequently, we were talking about it here in the Power Hour, having a buy point right here at this level, which was the just basically 59,300 Satoshi level. We did break that on really good volume. That's really excellent volume coming back into Ontology, respecting this descending trend line here, and then pulling back in. So maybe this has a little bit more work to do, but Ontology still has some upside momentum to it. And we were looking at VEN. So VEN, after a cup with handle, looks like it's starting to edge out of that cup with handle. The volume isn't quite there to support it, however, but it is moving out. It's a little extended for a good entry at this moment in time. It's sitting at the 42,000 Satoshi level. You know, your good stop is all the way down 6%, all the way down to 8% beneath current price points. That is not healthy for a risk-reward trade. But if you do see some good volume action, the fact that it is kind of edging higher means that there's bulls here and there's lack of selling. So this thing could move, not necessarily with a good breakout on good volume. All right, and one that we've been talking about here on and off is WAN having a nice continuation of its run, and these consolidations are getting smaller and shorter. So WAN looks like it definitely could continue higher. If you zoom in here, we are getting a little bit of distribution. There's a possibility. Hey, look, it hit my target there. Hit my target there. So, yeah, it looks like we're getting a little bit of distribution here. Maybe it is due a pause, but keep WAN on your radar. I think this is a very good coin. Any breakout of almost any kind on WAN, I think is good. And IOTA this afternoon running really nicely. It has since been consolidating its move. If we zoom out here, we see that IOTA really kind of rolled over, put in this low basing area, and then has since broken out of these high areas and is sitting in most recent highs, which is bullish. Need to wait for this consolidation to play out. Hopefully volume subsides a little bit more, and then we can get a nice volume bounce for a move to the upside. We're sitting at 17,300 Satoshis right now. It's right at about the breakout point, but it looks like it may want to rest. We will see, but any move from here on higher volume, you could be a potential buyer of. Your stop loss is going to be right down here at about the 16,300 Satoshi level, which gives you about a 5% stop loss. Not a horrible risk trade right there. And another one we've been looking at is ADA, Cardano, coming back into favor, having a little bit of wild movement based on Bitcoin's wild moves this morning and in through last night, having some nice downside action here, but it was bought up relatively quickly. Volume is subsiding. We're resting around this area. If we can get above the 2750 Satoshi level with some good volume behind it, I think ADA may have a little bit of a run. It's not looking as strong as some of the other coins, but it could be due some kind of a run. And ICX, another coin that was behaving extraordinarily well, coming out of a lower basing area, and it is basing above that basing, so kind of what's called a base on a base. So we have a base on base situation here. ICX looks like it's also edging higher with lack of volume participation. That's not necessarily a bad thing because it's not really running up. It's just kind of edging higher. So what this means is that whenever we do get a nice breakout action, this could be fairly aggressive. And as you can see here with ICX, we did have a nice run here, and we came down to the low. So this could just be a pausing area for what could be a much larger cup. All right, you see that right there? So we could have a much larger cup here forming in ICX, and the volume looks really good for a cup. Increasing as we're moving upward is bullish, and I would anticipate this to continue up, although it's not going to give you a breakout behavior. Like I said, this could be forming a base, so any volume pop is good. All right, and the next one is EOS, which we've been talking about. Hopefully you caught my last video, which was actually about EOS. If you aren't familiar with EOS, it's a pretty good video. And EOS right now is flagging out up here, kind of a high tide flag, holding very high out of this pole area, which is very bullish, resting right beneath the all-time highs. Could be a nice, so actually if you zoom out, this is a very large cup with a handle, and this could be preceded with another smaller cup with handle, and then we'll see if we get another little round out before we edge higher. But EOS really looking healthy. And pretty much in terms of the US dollar, Ethereum, and with Bitcoin, looking very healthy. But nothing to do here. It is consolidating. You have to wait for the breakout or a very nice pullback with some good bottoming action. All right, and then a recent mover today, OmiseGo. I wanted to jump this one in here. Having the 50% move today, just a spectacular move. It based out here. There was a nice area of support here at the $7 level, $7.20 level right there. Okay, you can see that nice support right there, and then it started curling higher, and we weren't really on top of this one. Can't watch them all, so we missed this one from running. But there's a very nice, a very beautiful actually flat consolidation. Then you can see volume comes in, and if you were to catch it there, you'd be up 50%, up as much as 80%. But we are getting a little bit of selling here in OmiseGo. Really have to wait and see what Bitcoin does. This is very good price action for a former leader. Nice big candles too. But the fact this candle is so big on the daily chart could lead the fact that we're going to be pausing and probably going sideways. So you may not get another chance here with OmiseGo. That may be the end of this run. We'll have to wait and see. That's a really big wick on the 2-hour candle. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, while Bitcoin is away, the alts may play. And, we'll be here at Real Crypto in the Power Hour and through our other, avenues to reach out to you guys to try to, pick out these moves. If you guys see any coins that you're interested in, shout them my way through Twitter at Real Crypto Trade, or just here in the comments, and we'll take a peek at those. So, all right, guys, thanks for joining me today. Enjoy the rally, and I will see you next time.